Welcome to lesson 10.1, surface area prisms. You can use the formula for prisms where you find the lateral surface area, which is the perimeter times the height, or all the way around the base times the height, and then add to that 2 times the area of the base. Or, in a way I find simpler, especially with the prism, add the sides to the add the area of the sides to the area of the bases, and you get that. So let's go ahead and look at this. We've got a three-dimensional figure. They've shown us front, top, bottom, or front, top, side. Over here they've given us a net of the same thing. The net will help us figure out how we do it. So we're going to use that prism up there. Let's see if I can keep that on the board. And we're going to apply it down here. So we're going to find the surface area of the front face. Now the front here says it's 5 times 8. So surface area is length times width, or if you want, base times height. So 5 times 8 is 40. So the surface area of the front is 40 inches squared. So for the front and back faces, it's 2 times 40 inches squared, or 80 inches squared. So we're going to find the area of the side faces. Here we've got the side. It is 5 inches by 3 inches, which is 5 times 3 is 15. Kind of have an extra thing there I didn't need. The area of the two sides, so we get 2, because we got side here, and then we got side over here, or if you look at the net, side and side. So 2 times 15, and that's 30. So next we'll find the area of the top face, and we've got a top face is 8 inches by 3 inches, and you can see that on the net too. So 8 times 3 is 24. And since there's 2 of them, there's a top and a bottom, which happen to be the same. There are 2 times 24, and that's 48. So now, combining the areas, what we do is we take all 3 of these numbers that we've got as the totals, where we added both sides in. We take all those, and we got 80. So that's the front and back. 30, that's the 2 sides. And 48, that's the top and the bottom. So 80 plus 30 plus 48, I'm going to write over here, 80 plus 30 plus 48. You'd think I know this stuff in my head, but I don't. 11, 15, so 158 inches, or square inches. So the surface area of the area is 158 square inches. So let's go down to these 2 nets down here at the bottom and supply the same thing we were doing before. So I'm going to label them, I'm going to put A's. So these 2 sides that match, I'm going to call them A. These 2 sides that match, I'm going to call them B. And these 2 sides that match, bases, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to call them C. Now I can figure out A, B's, and C's, because it'll be twice that, right? So A is 10 times 8, which is 80, times 2. Remember, there's 2 A's. So 80 times 2 is 160. B's is 5 times 10, which is 50, times 2 is 100. There are 2 of them. And lastly, C, which is 5 inches times 8 inches. And 5 times 8 is 40, times 2 is 80. And I get the total, and then I can add them all up. Whoops, I can't add very well though. I forgot to add the 6 that was up there. So 8 plus 6 is 14, carry the 1. So my total is 340 square inches. Doing the same thing over here. I'm going to again use the same technique I did there, because I've got a net. By the way, if you don't have a net, draw one. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be a net. So A and A, B and B, C and C. If you're ever looking at your net diagram and you find like your C is touching your other C, then you've labeled the wrong sides together. So let's go this A. I've got 10 times 12, that's 120, times 2 is 240. So that was 10 times 12, 120, times 2, because there's 2 of them. I'll go to B, that's 8 times 12, 8 times 12, now that one I don't know, let's see, 16, 96? I'll have to do it here. 8 times 12, yeah, 96. 96, and I've got to do that times 2. That's 192. Then last I do C, which is 10 times 8. 10 times 8 is 80, times 2 is 160. I have all 3 of my different types of surface areas. I've multiplied everything right. I have 2, 10, 19, carry the 1, 4, 592 centimeters squared. So I hope that helps. Remember, you can use the perimeter times height method for the lateral. And lateral is everything that's not the bases. When you think base, think top and bottom. Those are the bases. So if the question asks lateral, it should identify the base. If it doesn't, the base will be whatever's on the bottom. So you ignore it and its partner. All right, hope that helps.